Hi everyone, welcome to another episode. This one, as I promised in my previous video about how to be a good ally, I said I would be talking about my hair and how I take care of it and I guess the effects that HRT had on it. I'll talk about the effects of HRT on body hair as well as my facial hair, what I did to help with that, and even things like eyebrows and stuff. And so this one may be a little bit like a tutorial, so we'll see how it goes. So I guess first things first, when I started hormones, I had already started some laser hair removal. I specifically started on my face because what HRT as a trans woman does is it doesn't really have, you can't expect it to have an effect on your facial hair. I used to have a fairly, it wasn't like a full, it wasn't a thick beard, but it was full, right? So I have most reduction now, but what I do every morning is I use an electric razor. So the razor I use is called the Bronze Silk 7. So it's this one right here. I find it gets a really close shave. It doesn't over irritate, and so I do that every morning still. Most of my hairs now are lighter. But laser is kind of what really helped me reduce that. So the effect that laser hair removal had, and I may go into a deeper video in the future with laser hair removal, since I'm not currently going to it right now, but I probably will be doing something again soon. But basically what it does is if you have fair skin, like light colored skin and dark hair, that's the best contrast you can look for, because what the laser does is it's looking to the hair, you want the hair to absorb the light pulse, I guess, of the laser. So the greater the contrast, the hair gets subtracted to the darkness. So if that's the kind of hair and skin tone you have, then great. Definitely go check out maybe your local laser hair removal clinic, and they should be able to do a consultation for you and figure out if you're a prime candidate. So I did that on my face. You kind of do one session every 4 to 6 weeks, depending on kind of how you react to it. And eventually it just kind of it deactivates the cell from growing a new hair. So it does take some time. I think it helped any hairs that did grow back start to become more fine, lighter colored. So they're a little easier to deal with. And definitely using that razor, electric shaver, really helps kind of get me that close shave and soft skin in the morning. For body hair, I did do quite a bit of laser hair removal on that too, because I had a really good deal going at the time. What I do now though, so same kind of thing, I do see reduction. This hair is lighter. I think the hormones had an effect on that to some degree, because my back used to be very hairy, and I did do some laser on it, but I didn't think I did enough to actually cause significant, as much as a reduction as I thought. So I think the hormones actually had an effect on that. Don't quote me on that. Everyone's different. Everyone will react differently. But some of my body hair did change with hormones. It became lighter. It became thinner, softer. The skin is softer, so that after you have that shave, it just feels better. I can usually shave my arms and my back, and it's pretty soft for several days. So what I use to shave my certain body parts is just a razor. It's Gillette. It's a sensitive one, so it's this one right here. I find it's really good for sensitive skin. It doesn't leave a lot of razor burn, and I think after you shave enough times too, your hairs just kind of get used to it, and it isn't so bad anymore. So the body hair shaving I do in the shower, and I just use a bar of soap, Dove. I find it creates a really nice smooth glide. I've also heard that you could try using conditioner, because it's really smooth. So maybe just try some things out and see what works for you. So my head hair, when I started growing it out, It was, I think, November 2016, right before kind of I started to do any kind of active transition stuff. And what I found was as I grew it out, it actually kind of became very like thick and hot and itchy. And I think as my hormones worked, so I started hormones in April 2017, and I think the same thing happened like with my body hair as my head hair. Like the hair got finer, softer. I also started using a much better conditioner once I started to grow out my hair. Sorry, both shampoo and conditioner. So what I use right now, because I have curly hair, is Joico, which is this one right here. I gave it a try. It seems to really be really nice for my hair, but I have curly hair, and I really need to work on the frizz. So especially like I'm not in a humid climate, so I can't imagine that it's probably even worse if I went to somewhere humid. But I have to combat it somehow. So honestly, I just grew it out. My hair is naturally curly. It just does this. It gets a little flatter after I've like haven't washed it for a couple of days, and I wash it roughly every 3 days, probably. Sometimes I probably go a little too long, and it ends up being more like a week. But I'm fairly active now with bar class and hockey and stuff. So basically, anytime I get a sweat on, I wash it afterwards. So when I do wash it, because I have curly hair, if that's something you're concerned about, I get a lot of knots. I don't actually brush my hair because I find that it knots so easily, and I like the curls the way they are. So I don't actually brush my hair because I think it kind of straightens it too much or makes it frizzy. I like the curls to actually kind of develop themselves. What I do is when I wash my hair to get rid of the knots, when I have the conditioner on my hands and in my hair, I just run my fingers through the hair, and as I come across a knot, I just let it come out, and then my hair dries and it just kind of curls itself again. When I first started growing my hair in November 2016, roughly 2 years ago, it was about half an inch long. It was very short. I used to wear my hair really short. Now it's about a foot, I think at the max, like maybe 11 inches to 12 inches long. It kind of comes and goes. I'm not really sure how fast it's growing anymore, but you can expect, I think, about half an inch a month, based on that rate at least. During the process of growing it out, I haven't had a haircut in like a year and a half, and the haircuts back then were more just to kind of maintain it and make sure, like thin it out in really thick spots, relax it because it was getting really like afro-y. So that was just kind of in the process. But once gravity was able to take over, it's nice and fluffy. So I haven't actually colored my hair or straightened it or curled it or done any kind of like heat. Like I don't even blow dry it. I actually just kind of I always wash my hair far enough ahead of, say, going to sleep that I allow it to air dry. And I find I think it's helped keep my hair really soft when it's been newly washed. So that's kind of nice. I've heard that sometimes like you overwork your hair and it kind of makes it more brittle. So if you can, try to, when you're growing it out, try to not color it too quickly or damage it with heat if you can. It might just end up being a more successful grow. But at some point I'm sure I'll probably color it just because that'll be fun to try out. I'm considering going a little bit lighter, like more blonde. My hair is kind of like a dark blonde, light brown right now. So I don't know, we'll see what happens. One of the last things about hair to talk about on my head is the hairline. So my hairline, as you can see, is still like it had receded prior to hormones, and it's fairly thin through here. But if you're worried about that right at the start and you have short hair, give it time. I thought it might be a concern, but actually when my hair got kind of longer, I found that it actually kind of helped hide some of those bald spots. So give that a try. Some of the options going forward, if you're concerned about your hairline, are hair transplants where if you have enough at the back of your neck or on the sides, they can take little follicles strategically so as not to thin this area too much, but add those follicles to the areas that need it most. So give that, you can always go for a consultation if that's something you're really concerned about. As far as showering, if I'm trying not to get my hair wet, what I do is I take a scrunchie and a clip and put it in a ponytail like this, and then I wrap it up. So I take it, wrap it up, take the clip, and just kind of squeeze it to my head there. So there's no hair that's coming down, so you can avoid getting it wet if that's something that you are worried about. And I guess the final thing to chat about, as I said at the beginning, is my eyebrows. When I first started to transition, my wife, now ex-wife, she helped me wax them. Now it's not using a strip. It's actually, I don't remember the name of it, but it's like a dry wax where you actually put it on wherever you need to, let it air dry for a sec, and then you gather it up and rip it off. What I started to do eventually, and I just take my handy tweezers here, and I kind of worked on a shape. I had fairly bushy ones before. They're not terribly full, but I was able to kind of find some sort of shape that works. I don't do any makeup on my eyebrows. I haven't tried that yet. I might in the future if I want to. But just maintaining them. I kind of do like a good pluck once a week, I find. And so at the end of that week, they're starting to get a little bit unruly, and I just need to fix them up. But it's usually just a few hairs. Afterwards, a good thing if you're going to pluck your hairs, just take some cool water and dab your fingers in it and just dab around the areas that you need to, that you just plucked hairs out of. Anyways, that's all I had for this episode. If you think I missed anything that you'd want me to talk about, let me know down in the comment section. And as always, if you enjoy this content and want to get notifications on when I have new videos up, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell. The next video I'll be doing, I haven't completely decided yet. I know one that I'm considering is about just general dysphoria and my experience with that, what that was like, and maybe some tips on how I helped with that on my own. So anyways, look for that video to come. It would probably be up in a few days, 2 to 3 days or so. Thank you for watching. You guys are awesome, and I love talking to you as always. So we'll talk to you again next time. Okay, bye.